What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys, on the channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played Juventus in the UEFA Champions League in match day 3, guys. Yes, guys, there's a lot to talk about in this game, guys. So we made 4 changes from the last game against Valencia. Talk about the starting 11. So we started with De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Pogba, Matic, Rashford, Mata, Martial and Lukaku. It was practically an unchanged team from the weekend against Chelsea. My overall reaction, a lot to talk about in this overall reaction. I think coming into this game, we expected a tough Juventus side, a very good Juventus side that have got the likes of Dybala, Ronaldo, Costa, Pjanic, so we knew that this one was going to be the toughest test. I think it was also going to be a good game to come up against because United need to know how to adapt to games like this and how to play teams like Juventus that are very tough. I think the first half was absolutely poor. It was shocking. We were slow. It was, again, just like the Chelsea game. Just nothing was happening. No chances were created. No attempts were created. No opportunities were created. Nothing in that first half. We were slow, getting on the attack. Nothing was happening for Manchester United. Near to the end of the first half, we then started fighting back into the game, but it was just too late. But again, we couldn't find that last pass, that end product. The crosses were crap, so we couldn't find a Manchester United player in the box. About 8 of our crosses, and one of those crosses had found a Manchester United player, so that was shocking. We had about 6 attempts at goal, 2 of them were on target, and the 4 of them were off target. So it just shows that pretty much crap in this game. We weren't good enough in this game. I think second half we came out a little bit better. We could get on the counter-attack. We needed to be more of a threat. We need to create chances, put our chances away, test the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper didn't have much to do. He was relying on his defenders, and his defenders did his job for him. But overall, as a game, I think it was poor from Manchester United. One of the best of games again. Coming into this game, like I was just saying, we expected a tough Juventus side. We expected that. They had width, they had pace. Lindelof had Ronaldo in his pocket in the second half. I must admit that Lindelof played well. Not everyone played well in this game, and I'll tell you why as well. And there's more to add to it as well. At the end of the day, Manchester United need to be better in these games against Juventus. I think mentally we were prepared what was coming our way, but physically we weren't prepared because we were playing with Rashford and Martial. So again, you've got to look at the team sheet. It's unchanged from against Chelsea. He's going with his trusty 11 because we had the ability to score against Chelsea. So coming into this one, he thought, right, okay, I'm going to keep this unchanged, and I think we're going to score against Juventus. Jose Mourinho spoke out and he said that I think the boys deserved a draw. I don't think we deserved it. We were nowhere near of deserving a draw because we were poor. We were poor on the counter-attack. We couldn't even get on the counter-attack. That's how shocking we were. And we couldn't even create any chances. The only best chance we had was Pogba hitting the post. That's how close we got. And if that was 6 inches to the right, that was going in. I don't think we deserved anything out of that game. But we deserved to lose because there was nothing in that game that was going our way. We deserved to lose that one because we fully deserved it. I think it could have got worse for Manchester United. I think if Mourinho was playing for Juventus as well, it could have got a lot worse because we were just awful. Defensive-wise, we knew what we were doing. We were shocking on the attack. So it needs to change. It needs to change. Without further ado, let's get into today's video, guys. Manchester United had started slow into the game. Again, another slow start into the game. United expected Juventus to be determined and enthusiastic. Again, they've got Ronaldo, Dybala, Cuadrado, so we knew that it was going to be tough. They had Pjanic. People were saying that if they had Costa on, it would have been a lot worse. It could have been. I think also with Mourinho, it could have been worse as well. You could just tell that Juventus were more prepared for this game. They had their minds on this game. They were more prepared for this game, so yeah, they were definitely going for it. Like I was just saying previously, they were playing with width and pace. They had Ronaldo, Cuadrado, Dybala, Pjanic, Costa. Very good team, I must admit. United had 2 free kicks at the beginning of the game. 2 free kicks that we had fluffed. So you would have thought, like, when we had free kicks, you would have thought that something would have come on a set piece. Also, I think what we lacked on in this game was that we missed out on the likes of Fellaini in this game for height. I think we've also missed out Lingard in this game as well, that probably suited this game as well. So yeah, we need a few injuries back as soon as possible. United were just already making stupid mistakes at the beginning of the game. We were giving away possession. Matic was giving Lindelof a piece of advice of what to do when Ronaldo was coming in play, and also with Dybala's movement as well. Juventus have been a threat on the counter-attack. Juventus have been creating chances and testing the goalkeeper. Juventus have been putting the pressure on left, right and centre. The next minute, Juventus score. It was a great cross by Ronaldo, and what happened was that Smalling was there, but what he did was he put the ball back in play, and Dybala was just right behind him, and he just put it away. So if I was in Smalling's position, he had nothing to do because there was a man on him. So really, all he could do was put it back in play, but he should have just kicked the ball away. We would have walked away with a point if down to decision making, really. And that was a key in this game as well, decision making. If we made the right pass, the right move, that paid off, but not all of it paid off in the first half. Again, United have got to be careful of Dybala and Ronaldo. Dybala finds his movement in midfield and breaks down the defence pretty quick. What I mean by that, with his goal, once the defence is caught napping, he'll just straight away put a chance at goal, and it's all down to the keeper to make a reaction. That's what United have just got to be careful of. Juventus had more possession, they were controlling the game, they were dominant. Juventus have been causing United problems. De Gea had to pull off some great saves in this game. I must admit, De Gea had a much better game against Ronaldo this time. United were just lacking something in midfield. I think we were lacking someone in there in the midfield that could possibly help us out in that midfield in that first half, and we just didn't have it in this game. United had a few good counter-attacks, but they just weren't the best. The crosses were crap. They were either too slow, they were going deep, or they were just going to the wrong player. So instead of going out to the player outside the box, going to a player inside the box, but again, they couldn't find a Manchester United player. They couldn't find a Manchester United shirt. So the crosses were just pure in this game. They weren't good enough. United haven't created any chances. We haven't created any attempts at goal. United couldn't find the end product. We couldn't find the last pass. United weren't playing dynamic football. There was just no quality and there was just no desire in the game. United weren't playing for passion, pride or for the badge. We weren't fighting whatsoever. Mourinho's tactics just haven't been paying off in the first half. Overall, it was a poor first half by Manchester United. So in the second half, we needed to come out and we needed reaction from the players. We needed to be more of a threat on the counter-attack. We needed to be more aggressive with the ball. We needed to pick up the tempo. We need to play with a high intensity. United needed to create chances, test the goalkeeper. United need to take our chances and score on them. And United need to be clinical in front of goal. The transition from defence to attack needs to be quicker. I think the transition from defence to attack was slow in the first half. The movement needed to be quicker in the second half. Juventus hit at United at the beginning of the second half. United were able to play, but we just couldn't replicate our counter-attacks. What I mean by that, we just couldn't grab the ball back, get on the counter-attack and start creating chances, start testing the goalkeeper. We couldn't do any of that. We just couldn't replicate anything in this game. We were able to replicate our counter-attacks, but we couldn't create any chances at goal. United were more of a threat, but again, no chances were created at goal. Like I was just saying, Szczesny was relying on his defenders. His defenders were doing his job, so Szczesny was not even needed in this game whatsoever. Like I was just saying previously, United had 8 crosses and one of them had found a United player. Shocking. United had 6 shots, 2 of them were on target. Shocking. United had the ability to get players high up the pitch, but we lacked on the end product. United still lacked on our last pass. The decision making was a key in this game. If we made the right move and we made the right pass. Pogba, I think there was times with Pogba where with his movement, he knew what he was doing. Again, Pogba's old team, so he knew he had to play well in this game. I thought that Pogba was going to score against Juventus. It would have been great if he actually scored that as well. Just unluckily that we just got unfortunate with that. The game was still open for United, but we just couldn't create any chances. In this half, we were fighting a bit. Pogba had a great chance and hit the post, like I was just saying then. If it was 6 inches to the right, it was going in. United didn't create enough opportunities at goal. Our set pieces were a shocker. When we took our free kicks, they were shocking. Even coming from our corners, they were shocking. They just couldn't find a Manchester United player. I think what we also lacked on in this game was height. Who were we relying on with height? We were relying on Smalling and Matic. We were criticising Matic in this game, that he wasn't doing this, that and the other. I must admit that, he's not been playing well for the last couple of games, but we just lacked something in this game. If United did substitutions, it would have been a difference. Why did Mourinho not make any substitutions? Mourinho came out and spoke out and he said that the only attacking option we had was Chong. You can't just rely on someone who you've called up who's an 18-year-old who doesn't really suit for this game. If we had Sanchez in this game, I think he could have come on and damaged the limitation to this game. Why did he not make any substitutions? Because he was relying on his 11 to make something out of that game. He was saying that Chong was the only one. You could have looked at your bench, could have looked at Herrera who was on there. You could have looked at Pereira who was there as well. You still had options to bring on. And we needed someone in midfield to come on. He didn't do that. We lacked on in something in that midfield. He wasn't bothered of making a change because we still had the ability in the team to score a goal, because we scored 2 goals past Chelsea over on the weekend, and we coming into this one and we couldn't score a goal. And he said the only attacking option we had was Chong. He could have played Herrera. He could have played Pereira. So there were still opportunities, and he still could have gave someone a chance in this game. And we needed someone in midfield to help us out. And that didn't happen. You just got to use your brain, Mourinho, at the end of the day. So that's why he just didn't make any substitutions. Juventus had brought on reinforcements on. They were playing a defender who was like 37 years old. Juventus controlled and managed the game well towards the end of the game. Juventus could have killed this game off. It could have been easily 5 or 6-0. Juventus had more possession. Juventus outclassed us. How outclassed were United by Juventus? Leave it in the comment section below. United just ran out of time. That was it. United 0, Juventus 1. Juventus got the clean sheet. They got the 3 points on the board. It's disappointing, frustrating and annoying. What needs to change? A lot needs to change. I think the players need to change, and we lacked on something obviously in that game as well. But yeah, the players need to change as well. The big question is at the minute, what's the problem with Romelu Lukaku? I think the problem for me, he needs a rest. After the World Cup, he's just like Harry Kane, he needs a rest. People have been coming out saying that, doesn't have that mobility to get on the counter-attack. He doesn't find the right channels and he doesn't find the right runs. He's not been creating any chances at goal. He can't put his goals away. I don't know when he scored his last goal, but I know it was ages ago. People are coming out saying that, he needs a rest. He does need a rest. He's another one like Harry Kane, really. People are just saying, like, he's been drinking too many Belgian coffees. He can score goals for Belgium, but he just can't score goals for Manchester United. What's the problem with that? I think he's just running into traffic. He can't find his movement. He's too static. It's just something not there in Lukaku's game at the minute, and he just needs a rest. And what we need to do is in January, in the transfer window, we need to bring in another striker. We even said it, that we need to bring in another striker. If we brought in someone like Lewandowski or Manusic, it would have been a difference. You can sit out Lukaku, bring them in and give them a chance. So we clearly need, and it clearly shows that we need, a striker. Who else are options for a striker? Rashford, but he's not good enough. You've also got Martial. He's good enough to score goals. He wasn't even a threat in the game. So it just shows that we need a striker in the January transfer, and so then we can sort of give Lukaku a rest, because coming into the FA Cup games and the Champions League games and the Premier League games, he's going to be knackered. So coming up in the next game against Everton, he only has about 4 games and he's playing again. We need to do something about it, where we need to get another striker in the transfer window, start benching Lukaku or resting Lukaku, because he does need a rest after that World Cup. He can score goals for Belgium, but he can't score goals for Manchester United. So there's something going wrong in his game that needs to change. Do I still back the manager? Yes, I do, because if you think about it, it's Juventus at the end of the day. We're playing a tough side. I know that we should do better against Juventus, but at the end of the day, people are having a go at the manager, saying that this, that, the other. I think you've got to give him time. Teams like Juventus that are tough to play against, you're probably going to expect that anyway. I don't think Manchester United had a plan B anyway. We clearly didn't have a plan B. That's where Mourinho had to turn to Carrick and McKenna. I didn't see that once on TV. To be fair, we've got the feel now of how Juventus play. So coming up against Juventus again in Turin, we need to be a lot more better on the counter-attack. We need to create chances. We need to create attempts at goal, create opportunities at goal. We need to be more of a threat. We can't be just playing this defensive football game with Mourinho's tactics in the first half. We cannot be doing that. And get on the counter-attack from minute 1 to minute 90. We need to fight. We need to fight in games. We cannot be sitting back on our lazy arses. We need to get on the counter-attack from minute 1 to minute 90. Don't be playing that defensive football because it ain't going to work. Get on the counter-attack from minute 1 to minute 90. Don't be sitting back on your arses. Get on the counter-attack. That's what we need. And everyone was chanting, attack, attack, attack. So that's what we need in the next game going up against Juventus. It is right because we're playing Juventus next. And that's what we need to pull off against Juventus. So we need to come away either with a point or a win against Juventus. We cannot be sitting back and playing this defensive football. We need to get on the attack from minute 1 to minute 90 because if we're not going to be getting on the counter-attack, we're not going to get the result that we want. So we need to get on the counter-attack. That's what we need. We need the desire in the team to get forwards and to start creating chances. That's what we need. So we know that what their weaknesses are, that we need something better in Turin in the next 2 weeks. We cannot be coming away in the next 2 weeks with a draw. We need a win or a draw. We need to come away with a good result against Juventus, and we need to come away with a good performance, a better performance. We cannot be playing. We've got to be a lot more better. So I'm going to say it again. We need to fight from minute 1 to minute 90. Don't be playing defensive football. But again, it's Mourinho's tactic to go defensive. Don't play defensive football because it really frustrates everyone. Go on the counter-attack. Attack, attack, attack. It's what we need in this team to get on the counter-attack. Never mind about this, that and the other. Get on the counter-attack. That's what we need because that's what everyone's going to be saying. Get on the counter-attack. Start creating chances. Test the goalkeeper. Create opportunities at goal. Create attempts at a goal. And get more attempts at goal. We need to be more clinical in front of goal as well because we couldn't show that because 4 of our chances that we had were off target. So we need to be more clinical in front of goal. We only had 2 great chances that were on target. So it was just showed how poor we played in that game against Juventus. We were lucky enough not to come away with this game that it was 5 or 6-0. It could have been worse. So we need to play better with a better performance against Juventus in the next 2 weeks' time. So we need to come away with a good performance and a good result. That's what we need. Hope you guys have enjoyed another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in a video in the next couple of days, and peace.